Hi, my name is Mohammed. I'm joined with my associates Sai and Om, and we're going to be covering social media privacy settings. Starting off with a brief intro to privacy settings. So, what are privacy settings exactly? To put it simply, privacy settings are options which allow you to control who can see your information. This also usually extends to how certain data about you is used. Now, why is this important exactly? Well, majority of people nowadays are on social media, so they should be aware of these settings in case they're needed. For example, let's say someone is sending you unwanted messages on Facebook and you want to block communications, but you don't know how. Knowing your way around Facebook's privacy settings will allow you to act quickly and correctly, ensuring no more contact with that individual. As for the privacy settings we'll be covering today, they're centered around five platforms: LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Let's dive into LinkedIn profile visibility. It's all about who can see your profile. When they are scrolling through LinkedIn or search online, you have got three main choices here. First, everyone. This means anyone, whether they are on LinkedIn or not, can see your full profile. Think of it as putting your resume on billboards. It's great if you are actively job hunting or want to build your brand. Second, your network. This limits your profile to your connections. Their connections means second degree connections, and their connections connection means third degree connections. It's a good balance of privacy and reach. Third, your connections. This is the most private option. Only people you have directly connected with can see your full profile. So, how do you decide? Well, it depends upon your goals. If you are looking for a job, everyone might be the way to go. If you are just networking or want more privacy, your network or your connections might be better. You can always change it later. Just head to your privacy settings on LinkedIn to make the change. Let's talk about what you share on LinkedIn and how that data is used. Every time you use LinkedIn, you like a post, leave a comment, or share an article, that activity can be visible to others. LinkedIn also collects information about your profile, your experience, and what you view on the platform. They use this to give you personalized content like job suggestions or articles you might be interested in. They might also use it to show you targeted ads. Now, don't worry, you are in control. You can adjust your settings to limit who sees your activity. You can also control some of how LinkedIn uses your data. It's a good idea to review all the settings regularly just to make sure you are comfortable with what you are sharing. Okay, let's switch gears to LinkedIn security. Just like any online platform, it's important to be smart about how you use it. First, create a strong password. Don't use something easy to guess, like your birthday or pet's name, and definitely enable two-factor authentication or multiple factor authentication. That extra layer of security makes it much harder for anyone to break into your account. Next, be on the lookout for phishing scams. These are emails or messages that look like they are from LinkedIn, but they are really from scammers trying to steal your information. If something seems off, don't click on any link. Finally, keep an eye on those third party apps. Sometime you might want to connect LinkedIn to other apps or services, but always review what permissions you are giving them. You can revoke access anytime if you don't need them anymore. Remember, it's a good habit to review your LinkedIn privacy and security settings every few months. Things changes and you want to stay on top of how your information is being used. So be aware, be secure.
Moving on to YouTube's privacy settings. First off, We know that YouTube is one of the largest social media platforms and garners hundreds of millions of views a day, if not billions. So it's crucial to be aware of the privacy settings, especially if you're a frequent user. So, YouTube has two main methods to access their privacy settings. The first is actually just through the field titled Settings, and the second is through the field titled Your Data in YouTube. Within the first field, there are two options for better privacy. The first has to do with subscriptions. Enabling this option ensures that no user will be able to see which channels you subscribe to when visiting your account. The other option relates to the ads you see on YouTube. Since Google owns YouTube, every search you make using their engine can be tied back to your ads on YouTube. However, this can be customized to a certain extent and even turned off. Within the second field, we have two options. These both relate to your activity, which are your watch and search history. These can be adjusted to be manually cleared, automatically cleared after a set time, or turned off completely. Now that we've covered the privacy settings that YouTube offers, let's go through the process of how to access these settings using a web browser. This first walkthrough will be for the first main method, which is accessing settings. Starting off, we want to click our profile picture in the top right. After that, we should see the settings option in between keyboard shortcuts and help, which you should go ahead and click. Next up, you should be routed to a different screen with a menu bar on the left side. In this bar is a field titled Privacy, which you want to click. Finally, the two options mentioned previously, subscriptions and ads, should appear on the right. Next up, we have the walkthrough for the second main method of accessing your privacy settings, which is through your data in YouTube. Starting off, we want to click our profile picture in the top right. Next, we'll click the Your Data in YouTube field located between Purchases and Memberships and Appearance. After that, we should be routed to a different screen which displays your YouTube dashboard. We want to scroll down a bit until we see the title YouTube Controls and options under it for watch and search history. Moving on to Twitter/X's privacy settings. Very briefly, Twitter is a popular social media platform where users can interact with others mainly via posts, which are called tweets. They can also comment, share, retweet, and like these posts. Twitter's user count is undeniably large and hosts many big name individuals. With this in mind, it becomes evident that every user should be aware of the privacy settings. Twitter has one main category titled Privacy and Safety, consisting of two subcategories, which are Your X activity and data sharing and personalization. The difference between these two subcategories is that they apply to your experience either on the platform or off of it. For example, one of the settings in the first subcategory is direct messaging. Through this, you're able to control who, if anyone, is able to message you privately. In contrast, the second subcategory has a setting called location information. Through this setting, Twitter is able to tailor your feed based on your in real life location and even places you visited previously. These two subcategories have 9 total settings, 5 and 4 respectively. The 5 within the Your X activity subcategory are audience media and tagging, which controls what other users can see about what you post, mute and block, which controls muted and blocked users, words, and notifications, direct messages, which control who can privately message you, spaces, which controls if followers can see your spaces activities, discoverability and contacts, which allows people to connect with you on Twitter using your email or phone number. The 4 within the data sharing and personalization subcategory are ads preference, which relates to the ads you see on Twitter, inferred identity, which allows Twitter to tailor your feed based on info you've provided and even info that may be linked to you, data sharing and business partners, which controls the allowing of your data being shared with Twitter's business partners, and lastly, location information, which tailors your feed based on your location and its related history. Now, in order to showcase how to access these settings, we'll go through a walkthrough for the web browser version of Twitter. First, we want to hit the More button above the blue post button. Next, we want to select Settings and Privacy. And after that, we want to hit Privacy and Safety, located between Security and Account Access and Notifications. Now, on the right side of the screen should be the two subcategories, Your X activity and data sharing and personalization, with the options underneath for privacy settings.
So for setting privacy settings on Instagram, there are two main actions, whether it's on desktop or mobile. Those are finding the account privacy section and making the account private in the end. So basically for desktop, you should find a button that says more, and on the bottom left, and click it, and then you'll see settings, and then you just have to click that. And then once you find account privacy, Then you can click that, and below then you can see who can see your content. And then finally you can click the switch next to private account to make your account private, and then just click switch to private to confirm. And then for mobile, first you would want to tap your profile picture in the bottom right to go to the profile. Then you want to tap the settings button on the top. Then you should tap who can see your content, and then below account privacy, make sure to check to make sure to check the box next to private account, and then tap to switch to private to confirm. To set privacy settings for Facebook, there are two main actions. You would have to find the audience and visibility section, and then you just have to tap the option to change for privacy. So for the desktop version, you would want to click your profile picture in the top right of Facebook. You would want to select settings and privacy, then click settings. And then under audience and visibility, you'd want to click the option you want to change for privacy. And then for the mobile version, you want to scroll to the bottom of Facebook and tap settings and privacy. Then you'd want to scroll down to the audience and visibility section and tap the option you want to change the privacy for. To wrap things up, you should be cognizant about the privacy settings on all the social media apps that you use, because you don't want to be posting stuff to people who you don't even know, and especially if those posts are private and personal to you, and has information that is personal and that should not be shared to anybody else. You should probably keep your account private, so that they won't disturb you in the real world. And this is the first things that you should do before using those apps. It's really important to control the your online presence, as they can have repercussions, obviously, in the real world, and to keep your identity safe from the malicious people out there in the internet. Since we don't know who is out for us, and we just want to be safe and have and we want to be safe on the internet, and we want to have security. So that's the main reason why we should be important to it is important to set privacy settings.